welcome to another day. This is Obinje. Today's video we're going to be talking about my top Ghanaian dishes, and these are dishes that I can eat just about anytime, any day and anywhere. Now there are reasons why these dishes are my top Ghanaian dishes, and this is because before coming to Ghana I didn't put into consideration the traditional or the cultural differences between Nigeria and Ghana. I just assumed that because Nigeria and Ghana are West African countries, they probably will be eating the same thing that we were eating back home. And I just came with that idea. But to my surprise coming here, I'm seeing that the aftermath of the preparation is actually different from what we had back home. And to tell you guys, it took me a while before I could get used to eating Ghanaian dishes. So today's video, these ones that I'm going to be listing and talking about are the ones that over the years top the list of the foods that I can eat just about anytime, anywhere. And they have become my top rated Ghanaian dishes. So if you want to know what those dishes are, then do not go nowhere. So guys, you're welcome back. My name is Obinje, and if you're just seeing me for the first time, you're welcome to this channel where I talk about living in Ghana, my experiences and everything that has to do with that. So today's video, my top Ghanaian dishes, and you can imagine that it wasn't easy, talking about these dishes, because if you're not careful, you might end up saying one or two things that might offend your host country. So I'm going to try my best to be as civilized as possible without putting down any dish whatsoever. So my number one dish is waakye, and this is I think to an extent it's a no-brainer because just about everybody goes for rice. But this is where it gets a little bit funny. When I saw waakye for the first time, it was something that I did not in my wildest dream think I was going to be eating. And that's because the first time I would see waakye, it had this color that I'm like, what is this? What is this? Now over the years I got to see that there are different variations of waakye, but my first sighting of waakye, it had this pinkish reddish color, and that would be my first time seeing any food that was off color, if I must say. So that day we went to Makola, my husband and I and the girls, and we were hungry and we wanted to eat food, and we spotted this food vendor, and we went over to her spot to eat food. And before it got to our turn for them to serve us, I noticed that the color of the food was just different. See, when I saw it, I knew it was rice, but the color was not giving rice. So in my head I'm like, what was added into the rice to give it this color? And yeah, and there it kind of put me off, and I don't remember eating any food that day because I just couldn't eat anything. So that was what happened at that instance when we came to Ghana, and it took me about 2 years before I could get myself to eat waakye. And honestly speaking, that day I tried waakye, I have never looked back. And I've been saying to myself, what have you been missing all these years? So for those of us who do not know what waakye is rice and beans. But I guess the preparation method is what is different from what is rice and beans in my own place. So waakye can usually be paired with spaghetti, gari, although when I'm eating mine, I don't take it with gari, I don't take it with spaghetti. Yes, I take it with vegetables and a number of proteins depending on whatever the seller has on the ground, and I am good to go. Now I think another thing that actually made me love waakye so much is the shito. That is the pepper, no, shito, yes, it's pepper stew or pepper sauce, if I must say. It's kind of the the toppings for me when it comes to waakye. And now let me give you guys a story that made me love waakye. So there's this day, that's 2 years later, like I said, my husband and I went somewhere, and as usual, we had been out of the house for a while, and we were getting hungry, and we stopped at this place to eat. And as usual, that particular spot, it was waakye they were eating, and it wasn't that colored one, I must say, but I already had it at the back of my mind that eating anything outside is going to be a no-no for me. So when we sat down to eat, or rather when he sat down to eat, the way he was, munching at the food just got me, interested. And I'm like, okay, so can I try a plate? And I told the vendor, just give me little. And she did give me that little, and I'm like, there's really nothing to this food that I was just, scared of eating. And guys, since that day, I haven't looked back on waakye. I so much love it. I can eat it today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, and I will be good to go. So the number two food that has, topped the chart for me here is the Ghana jollof. Now don't ask me between Ghana jollof, Ghana or Nigerian jollof, which is the best. That one is for those who are looking for comparison. Me, when I ate the Ghana jollof, I was so, oh, I mean, I think the texture of the rice has to do with you or me loving it. There's just something about it that I cannot really pinpoint, but I really enjoyed the Ghana jollof alongside the vegetable and the what do you call it, the proteins that are being served with it. And there's this stew that they add on top of it, that is if you want the stew. But Ghana jollof, because normally I do love rice from where I am coming, and although I must say that the Ghana rice, it actually took me a while before I could even get a hang. Although I must say that it took me a while to be able to get used to the texture of the Ghana rice. But when I did, I think it just made loving Ghana jollof, very easy for me. Another dish that I can eat just about any time, any day here in Ghana is the fried rice. I told you guys I love rice, and all it took for me was just loving the texture of the rice, because the texture of the rice here is actually different from the type of rice that we eat in Nigeria. So it just took me loving the texture of the rice, and I fallen in love with waakye, jollof, and the fried rice. Now the Ghana fried rice is entirely different from the fried rice in Nigeria. So that the first time I was invited to come and eat fried rice, I just had it at the back of my mind that it's exactly the way our Nigerian fried rice is. And I was opportune to be at the spot where they were preparing the fried rice, but everything totally different in preparation. But sweetheart, it did not stop me from loving it. There's you see, I keep saying that's the beauty of you traveling out and going to places, whether within your country or outside of your country, to be able to try out different dishes with an open mind, no room for comparison or all of that. You are going to be able to savor and feel the dish, or feel the taste of the dish. And I think that's exactly what happened to me when I went to try the fried rice. I had the opportunity, like I said, to see the preparation, and it was it is different from our Nigerian fried rice, but notwithstanding, I like it, I love it. And to tell you guys the truth, I ate it this afternoon. So let's move over to the next Ghana dish that I love. Now, when it comes to swallow, that's the turning food. There are a number of turning food here in Ghana. We have fufu, we have banku, we have kokonte, there's the tuozafi, there's the rice balls. I have tried each and every one of them at a point in time, but unfortunately I was just given to kokonte. So kokonte makes it the one and only swallow dish here in Ghana that I can eat just about any time, any day, anywhere. And I'm still open to trying maybe another time I would take my time, sit down and see exactly what it is that I'm missing. But what happened about kokonte is that when I came here to Ghana, like I said, I found out that the dishes were actually different from what we eat in Nigeria. I wanted something that I could eat, and everyday eating rice doesn't do the magic. And even back home from Nigeria, I wasn't a fan of eba. I'm going to leave a picture of what eba looks like for those of you who do not know what eba is. I wasn't a fan of eating eba. I used to eat more of, amala, pounded yam, and semo. And when I came here, semo was, kind of expensive to get, and pounded yam is not something that I get to eat every day. It gives me, this kind of gas, bloating feeling. So I needed something that was going to be close to amala. And I remember that day I went to the market and I met this lady who once lived in Nigeria and knew amala, and she told me that I could try kokonte, and I'm like, I don't know what kokonte is, and she shows me kokonte, and kokonte has this amala feel, save for the fact that it's made out of cassava, and amala is made out of yam. So I go home, I turn kokonte, and I see that this is amala in another form, in another body, and I love it. The unfortunate thing is that whereas my family loves banku, kenke, and fufu the likes, I'm the only one who seems to love the amala kokonte version of it. And because of that, I rarely get to cook kokonte in the house, because if I buy it, it stays for long. But trust me, if I have the opportunity of going out to eat swallow, kokonte is the go-to for me. So guys, let's move over from kokonte. Then we have the Ghana stir-fry noodles, which for the longest time when we came to Ghana, that was my go-to food anytime that we go outside. The stir-fry indomie, and I must tell you that I really love eating it with the vegetables. Although we eat our indomie too in Nigeria with vegetables, but it's kind of different from what we have here. So it was easy for me to just fall in love straight with indomie, because indomie, or noodles rather, if I must say, is a kind of a general norm everywhere. But like I said, preparation is actually what differs between cultures. But because it's noodles, it's vegetables, and of course you have your egg on top of it, it's just an easy thing to fall in love with. So I think the next thing that I could eat, and I can eat just about any time of the day if I go outside, is the fried yam, the fried potato, and the plantain. And I think this is just about for every other person. Yam we have in Nigeria, potato we have in Nigeria, plantain we have in Nigeria, and I have been able to savor it to the delight of my stomach. So guys, these are basically the Ghanaian dishes that I can eat just about anytime, any day, anywhere. And like I said, I am still open to trying other dishes if opportunity does present itself, because this is my host country. I want to make the most of the time that I have here. And aside that, I don't want to be restricted, although I know I am a bit restricted, but I want to have the luxury of if I go somewhere I can't eat, I don't have the opportunity to eat what I want to eat, then I can try another dish. Honestly, when my girls are eating banku and pepper, although I haven't had the stomach to try it, I am so so guys, this is the video of the top Ghanaian dishes that I can eat, and I'd love to know what yours is if you are a foreigner here in Ghana, or if you've been to any country where the food is actually different from what you eat. What is that one food or dishes that you can eat without reservation? So guys, if you watch this video up to this level, thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye.